Hello students, in this video I will teach you chapter number 1 from unit 2. The name of the chapter is Vedamundan and Kodamundan. I will read out the chapter line by line so that you understand everything easily. So let's begin. In the town of Thiruvela, there lived a clever Brahmin called Kodamundan. It was his daily routine to visit different homes and persuade people to give him raw rice, pulses, spices and oil. So there is a character who has been introduced. The name of the character is Kodamundan. He is a Brahmin and he is very smart. He lives in a town. The name of the town is Thiruvela. Now what he does is every day he goes to different homes and he asks for food items like rice, pulses, oil and spices. The excuse he gave was that he used these ingredients to feed the poor. Everyone believed this and generously gave whatever was asked for, but Kodamundan never fed anyone apart from himself and his wife. Keeping aside a portion for their daily needs, he would sell the rest at a good profit. So the food items that Kodamundan used to take from people, he told that he used to give these food to the poor people, but actually he never did that. He used to save that food for himself and his wife, and the rest of the food, the extra food, he used to sell it in the market and make money out of it. It was a source of earning. People trusted him and gave him food, but he broke their trust. In a neighboring village, there lived another Brahmin whose name was Vedamundan. He was just as clever as our friend Kodamundan. So another character has been introduced. The name of other character is Vedamundan. He is equally smart, just like Kodamundan. Vedamundan had heard of Kodamundan and his greedy nature. He decided to get a meal out of him no matter how long it took and how hard a task it was. So now we all know that Kodamundan used to ask people to give him food, but he used to lie. He used to tell people that he'll give these food items to the poor people, but actually he used to feed his stomach and his wife's stomach, and the rest of the food he used to sell to make money. So now when Vedamundan got to know about it, he thought that no matter whatever happens, he is going to make sure that he eats a meal at Kodamundan's house, no matter how long it takes or how much ever efforts it takes to do so. Because Vedamundan knew that Kodamundan was very smart and greedy also. One fine morning, he landed up on Kodamundan's doorstep and politely asked if he could be given a meal. So one day, Vedamundan had reached Kodamundan's house, and at the door he said that he wanted some food. He would be grateful if Kodamundan would help him. I am really very sorry, Kodamundan said, looking very regretful indeed. But I have already invited 10 guests for lunch. There is nothing to spare today. If you come tomorrow, it will be my pleasure to give you a meal. So now Kodamundan says that he is very sorry. He cannot give food today because he has already invited 10 people at home. So if he has invited 10 people, all the food will be over. He will not have extra food to give to Vedamundan. This was just an excuse. So Kodamundan said that you should come tomorrow. I will give you food. On this assurance, Vedamundan returned the next day at the same time. You asked me to come, he said pleasantly. Here I am. So Vedamundan did not give up. He came the next day and he told Kodamundan that yesterday he had asked to come today. So here he is. Kodamundan realized that he had to come up with a better excuse. Putting on his regretful face, he said, I am really very sorry to disappoint you again. Unfortunately, last evening my wife fell ill. She has still not recovered. As there is no one to cook, I have postponed today's Annadan. Annadan is feeding people, poor people for free, till she feels better. It might take a few days. I will let you know when it happens. So the next excuse that Kodamundan gave to Vedamundan was that his wife was ill, so nobody cooked food. And because of this reason, today he will not be able to feed poor people. So because the wife will take a few days to get better, until then he cannot help poor people with food. Vedamundan was no less. His face took on an expression to the most sincere sympathy. I am very sorry to hear that your wife is unwell, he said. However, to give up the charitable act of Annadan on such a flimsy ground is not quite appropriate. I have developed considerable culinary skills over the last 10 years. I can cook for hundreds of people. Let me offer you my full assistance in the kitchen. Your wife can rest. I will even cook a light dish of pongal for her. So Vedamundan knew that Kodamundan was very smart and that he was lying, that he was a liar. He did not want to give food. But Vedamundan was also very smart. So he said that, oh, I'm very sorry to hear. I feel sad that your wife is not well. But you should not stop feeding poor people. You are doing such a good job. I don't want you to stop doing the good thing. I know how to cook for hundreds of people. I will help you. Your wife does not have to cook. And he further said that because his wife is not well, he could make a dish for her too. Kodamundan was in a fix. How could he break his age-old habit of never feeding anyone? He decided that after getting Vedamundan to do the cooking, he would find an excuse to send him away without feeding him. So he said, "Thank you for your kind offer. Please come in." Now, Kodamundan was shocked because he has never fed anyone his food. So he thought that what he will do is, after Vedamundan is done with cooking, he will make an excuse and send him away so that he does not have to give food to the poor people. So he said, "Thank you so much, please come in." As was the custom those days, Vedamundan went to have a bath and change his dhoti before entering the kitchen. While he was thus occupied, Kodamundan sneaked off to tell his wife that she should pretend to be ill. She readily agreed. She was only too happy to let someone else do the cooking for a change. So now earlier, it was a rule that before you enter a kitchen, you have to take a bath. So while Vedamundan was taking a bath, he was busy. So Kodamundan went to his wife and told her that she has to act like she is not well. The wife was very happy to do the acting of not being well because she did not have to cook food. She does not have to do the hard work. Somebody else will cook and it is good for her. Kodamundan believed in eating well. With Vedamundan's help, he prepared a lavish meal of 5 to 6 different dishes. Now, because Kodamundan used to take food from other people for free, he was never short of food. So he used to make different dishes every day and eat. So with Vedamundan's help, they had cooked around 5 to 6 different dishes that were really nice. As soon as the cooking was over, he said, "I have only one banana leaf in the house. Will you take this copper coin and get a few more leaves from the bazaar?" Now, Kodamundan's plan was to make an excuse so that Vedamundan leaves house after the cooking is done. So, Kodamundan in the earlier times, they did not eat food on the plates. They used to eat food on banana leaves. So, he said Vedamundan that there is just one banana leaf in the house and he gave him a coin. He told him to go to the bazaar and buy few more leaves so that they all can eat together. It was just an excuse. While Vedamundan was out on his errand, Kodamundan said to his wife, "My dear, I have saved you the trouble of cooking today. I wish we could get such gullible people every day to do our cooking." So now Vedamundan was out in the market to buy banana leaves. So Kodamundan went to his wife and told her that finally he has saved a day for her where she could rest and she does not have to cook. And also he wished that every day he came across some people who could do cooking for him. He will return in a short while. It will not look nice if we simply refuse to open the door. We must do something that makes him go away of his own accord. So now Kodamundan says to his wife that we cannot just say that we will not open the door. It will not look
like
nice.
Rice,
so we have to do
pulses,
something
oil and spices.
which makes him go away on his own. I have a plan. So Kodamundan had a plan. As soon as he comes back, you start quarreling loudly with me. I will pretend to beat you. You must pretend to cry. He would not wish to get involved in a domestic quarrel and would surely go away. So the plan of Kodamundan was that when Vedamundan comes, they will start fighting. Kodamundan would act like he is beating his wife and the wife will act that she is hurt and she will start crying. So when Vedamundan would see such things happening in the house, he would go away himself because he does not want to get involved in this matter. As soon as they heard Vedamundan's footsteps, husband and wife started squabbling loudly as planned. So When Vedamundan arrived, they started fighting just according to the plan. The wife said, "How can we manage if you feed anyone and everyone who comes here? Did you have to invite a guest even when I am unwell?" So they started fighting, and the wife was telling Kodamundan, "Why do you have to invite a guest for lunch when I am not well? How will I cook food? And if we start giving food to everybody, how will we eat?" The husband retorted, "If I wish to practice charity, why do you feel so bad? I am spending my own hard earned money." So the husband replies, and he tells that he is doing a good work by helping people with food, and the wife should not feel bad about it. Anyway, he is spending his own money to feed poor people. He started to beat the wall with all his might. At once, his wife started howling as if she was being thrashed. Vedamundan, who was standing outside the front door, heard his racket. So Vedamundan was outside the house. He could not see the two people, the husband and the wife. So what did Kodamundan do? He started hitting the wall so that there was a noise, and Vedamundan would think that he is beating his wife, and the wife started screaming like she was being hurt. And while all this was happening, Vedamundan was quietly standing outside the door and listening to what was happening. Unwilling to interfere in a domestic dispute, he hid in a room adjoining the kitchen where firewood and dried cow dung cakes were stored. So now, Vedamundan did not want to interrupt, so he quietly went into a room which was right beside the kitchen, and in that room, firewoods and cow dung cakes were kept. The beating and howling went on for a long time. At last, Kodamundan stopped and cautiously peeped out. There was no one in sight. So this beating, this acting was going on for a long time. After a while, Kodamundan had looked out of the room to see if there was anybody outside the door, but there was nobody. So basically, Kodamundan thought that Vedamundan had gone away. He bolted the door carefully and said to his wife, "At last we have succeeded in driving away that obstinate man. All this beating and shouting has made me hungry. I am sure you must be as famished as I am. Come dear, let us eat." So finally, he had closed the door, Kodamundan, and he told his wife that after doing so much of acting and so much of hard work, I am hungry now, and I am sure even you are hungry, so let's sit and eat food. The wife spread mats on the floor, placed the banana leaves and glasses, and arranged the dishes. She served her husband and herself. They sat down to eat. So now, when they decided to eat, the wife had made all the arrangements and they served each other to start to eat. Watching them through a crack, Vedamundan waited for the right moment to announce his presence. Now, Vedamundan was still at home. He was in the room which was beside the kitchen. So, he thought that as soon as they start eating, he would appear from the back in front of them. Kodamundan, who could not help gloating, said to his wife, "Well, my dear, I beat you without touching you." So finally, Kodamundan says to his wife, he could not control about, what happened, the acting that they did. So Kodamundan said that I had hit you without even touching you. "I cried without shedding a tear," she replied. So the wife says, "I cried but without tears because we were both acting." From the storeroom chimed in a third voice, "I have come back to eat my meal without going away." So finally, Vedamundan enters and says that he did not eat his meal, so he has come back. With this, Vedamundan joined them for a hearty meal. So finally, Vedamundan had eaten food at their place, at their home. You can't deny that he deserved it. Well, he deserved the meal because he was very hardworking and he was very smart to earn this meal for himself. So that's it for the chapter. I hope all of you have understood everything. Soon the question answers will be sent. You have to do it in your notebook. If there is anything you don't understand, you can always ask me. Thank you so much for your patience.